Welcome back, Love Nation. This is Nina. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to everybody that has been coming to this channel. Please make sure you like this video, share this video, as well as hit that notification bell so you know when I drop my next one. Now we have a little bit of Breakfast Club breaking news coming from Angela Yee. Apparently, according to her, the Breakfast Club is officially over. Now, I'm going to post a tweet that she put up on Twitter a few minutes ago, and I am going to say that while I am surprised, I am not shocked, and I am going to get into those details in just a moment. Again, this is the tweet that she put out. She said the Breakfast Club, as you know it, is officially over. She also tweeted, God is good. Now, I actually found an article just to take you guys back through the history of the Breakfast Club, and then I am going to get into my personal opinion as to what happened to the Breakfast Club. Now, according to this article, when Power 105.1 Lynchpin Morning Show, the Breakfast Club was hosted by Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, and Angela Yee, launched in December of 2010. Hot 97 was still the number one urban contemporary radio station in New York City, standing strong atop the shoulders of legends such as Angie Martinez and Funkmaster Flex. 9 months after its launch, the show had not gained much ground, teetering on the brink of dissolution. It was a faithful morning call from Jack of all trades, Willie Ray J. Norwood Jr., whom breathlessly recounted his distorted perspective of an altercation with Fabulous in Las Vegas the night before that turned their fortunes around. Quotables about disrespecting the money train became entrenched in urban radio lore, reaffirming a tried and true lesson that helped build some of the biggest empires in radio, including that of Charlemagne's longtime mentor, Wendy Williams. Controversy and sensationalism obtain views whether they love it or hate it. Now, this article also goes on to say, since having Ray J as their first breakout guest, the Breakfast Club Rolodex of guests has expanded in niche and pedigree as they have cemented themselves as the number one morning show in urban contemporary media in the greater New York area. Their roster of guests has ranged from artists promoting their latest release to Democratic primary candidates looking to use the iHeartMedia syndicated Breakfast Club as a hip platform to speak to target demographics for voter turnout. The rubric for programming, however, has continued to adhere to a golden rule. Information and accessibility may be a benefit of their now prominent platform, but is only secondary to entertainment at all costs, no matter the potential harms of the communities that they purportedly aim to entertain. Donning the moniker the world's most dangerous morning show, the Breakfast Club continues to maintain cultural currency by trading in its virality and adopting the ethos of its provocation. It gets the people going. That is embodied in the show's most polarizing host, Charlamagne, infamous for pushing the most luscious shock jock commentary on guests, particularly women, to the point he has become inextricable from the Breakfast Club brand. One such notable example of that ethos took place in 2016 with the planned appearance of Tommy Loren, at the time a quick rising upstart in conservative media, on the airwaves of black urban radio preeminent morning show, barely a month after Donald Trump had been elected into office. Despite the booking being canceled by Loren's team due to the overwhelming backlash over her appearance on The Daily Show, Charlamagne persisted in engaging a social outing with her, retorting, "Do you want diplomacy or do you want division?" I'm talking to Tommy because I care about the rhetoric that comes out of her mouth because she has influence. And the narrative she paints and movements like Black Lives Matter is dangerous. The same way people can hit her up on social media and tell her how wrong she is, I can meet with and tell her the same thing. It's a curious logic that manipulates the need to embrace the neoliberal need for compromise and continuous discourse, which will always be at odds with the irreconcilable truth of conservative media's foundational ethos of unshakable moral conviction. The argument fails to hold muster when she was heralded by Charlamagne as a template that other women in media should aspire to, writing in a since deleted tweet. Would be dope if a young black or Hispanic woke woman used social media to create a platform to be a voice like Tomi Lahren did. Strangely enough, such a declaration operates in same rhetoric, often associated through the conservative right media. Wild conjecture with no material basis. In fact, this missing context that allows for specific circumstances, in Loren's case, her backing by Glenn Beck's network, The Blaze, when roundly presented with a bevy of women's choices that already exist, he addressed it on the radio show asking in bewilderment, how do we amplify their voices? Now, again, I am reading from this article. And this article goes on to say another such transgression involved comedian and recording artist Little Duval. The garish 3-minute sequence detailed violence against trans women to raucous laughter and mild chiding about political correctness, barely a week after writer, director, producer, and trans activist Janet Mock appeared on the show. At one point, DJ Envy says, I love when Duval is up here. He be acting a fool. Mere moments after intentionally presenting Mock's book in Duval's field of vision, leading to Mock being forcefully misgendered on live air. As Mock said herself in essay response, on a black program that often advocates for safety and lives of black people, its hosts laugh as their guests advocated for the murder of black trans women who are black people too. In an assessment of their accountability, not only were the malicious messages distributed, but collectively also refused to accept any complicity in material harm, soliciting viewer feedback to affirm themselves, and only opening the trans community to further derogatory comments to be said on air, instead of truly assessing their responsibility to black communities they serve. The discussion diverted into whether or not they should be held to the offense over something a guest said and has refused to apologize for, ignoring media's responsibility in framing, directing, and guiding discussion. Since then, Duval has appeared on The Breakfast Club twice more unfettered. In a repetition of the animus behind Lauren's presence, a more recent incident involved a highly publicized interview with Rush Limbaugh. Amid one of the biggest nationwide fights for transformative accountability of the state-sanctioned death of black lives lost through police brutality, and an echo of the rationality for inviting Loren 4 years prior, grounds were presented on the basis of introducing Limbaugh's platform to the gravity of the black community's plight. Now, this is just, again, a little bit example of some of the things that has been going on in some of their history and controversy. This article was brought by okplayer.com, and I am going to say to this in closing, I'm sure that this platform and the host pretty much may have outgrown this platform. There may have been just other opportunities. There are thousands of podcasts now that are available that literally celebrities either run themselves or flock to for visibility. I do believe the Breakfast Club could have continued, but I think the ginormous weight of itself actually pulled it down. Like, share, and subscribe, you guys. Till next time, bye and be safe.